Hey everybody, so right now I'm installing these Powerflex subframe bushing inserts, which I've actually had for quite some time and just never got around to doing because I like to install things one mod at a time so I can see what the contribution of just that individual part is and not convoluted with, multiple things. So, finally got around to tackling this today. And I wanted to see if it was a little bit easier than installing a rear sway bar, and I'm happy to say that it looks like it is. So if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see I've got the upper front subframe bushing insert already in here, and this is as far as I've lowered the subframe without having to undo the center support bearing. So that means I don't have to undo the heat shielding and undo the center support bearing holding the drive shaft in order to do this. But I did have to remove all of the underbody bracing that the, say, F32, F36, F34, and F31 have. You F30 guys don't have to worry about this as much. So if you want to see those steps, go check out the rear sway bar install video because it'll show you how to do all of those steps that are required. So why might you want to use these bushing inserts? Well, if I stick this bolt in here and I just articulate it, you can see the center of that rear bushing flexing quite a bit. And this is play that the rear chassis has that the front doesn't. So the front subframe where it bolts to the body doesn't actually have bushings at all. So it's just a solid, this metal right here going to the body up here. So by inserting those inserts back here to take up the voids between this center part that's wobbling right now and the outer part, you prevent it from deflecting and moving and take out all of that slop. Now there can be a NVH penalty to doing this, and hopefully I'll get some measurements and find out what that actually is after I get this all bolted up and take it for a couple drives. But on the plus side, the rear should feel more connected and solid as a result of the inserts. So looking at the front inserts, you can see here I've got the top portion and the lower insert. Both of these have a void or cutout on one side and are solid on the other. This void or cutout will go towards the front of the car. And if you took a close look at the bushing itself, you'll see that the waviness there is a little bit more pronounced, which is why they need that cutout. And if you look at the bottom here, you can see the center portion of the lower part of this is very flat, and the upper part has that cutout with a little bit more recession for that wave. And it's the same thing for the bottom mount, where in this picture on the lower section it's flat in the middle, and the top where the cutout is, it's a little bit wavier. So this will get oriented like so, with the cutout on the front, and same for the top with the cutout towards the front. Additionally, for the bottom of the bushing, make sure that these little rubber protrusions here fit into the gaps on the bushing insert itself. I mean, they'll probably pop in there once you compress it, but just make sure things are aligning better. Just go ahead and pre-align those and get those into the recessions. So before I put in the upper insert, I'm going to go ahead and put some grease on it. Because the lower bushing inserts included grease, but for some reason the upper didn't. So I'm just going to grease all of these insert areas on the inside and the outside where it's going to make contact with the OE bushing. And then I'll do the same to the lower bushing as well, greasing all of the insides and outsides of the inserts. And then for this lower subframe mount piece, I went ahead and I wiped down this mating surface that's going to push against the bottom of the subframe insert. So here is the rear subframe bushing, and here is the upper insert and the lower insert, which looks a lot like the front lower inserts. And the Powerflex instructions actually had the upper insert oriented the wrong way for my car. The way that the instructions showed, the insert should go in this way, but when I felt around in the grooves of the bushing, actually it should be oriented this way. And if you look at the two insert portions on this upper mount, you notice one is slightly thinner than the other. The instructions mention nothing about this, but at least fitting this around on both sides of my car, it seems like the thinner side, or in this frame, the left side, should go towards the front of the car for the best fit. So that is what I've done. Also, another thing is the rear ones include this packet of grease that the front bushings don't include. So instead of just using that, I've gone ahead and used my own silicone lubricant, Silglide, which I use on a bunch of things, because it's basically the same thing. And I just put some grease on the insert portions of these, so it helps them slide into the bushing a little bit easier. Likewise, on the lower insert, the orientation in the instructions was correct, and of course it's a lot easier because you can see the indentations here on the left and right that the bushing has to slot into, so it's kind of hard to get that wrong. But once again, one of these insert portions is just slightly thinner than the other, and the slightly thinner one points towards the front of the car. So here is the rear bushing and inserts, and before I bolt it up, I'm going to go ahead and clean off this plate right here. So you can see I've wiped this one down compared to how it the other one originally looks, just because this will be now sealing against the bottom of here, and we want to kind of remove the dirt, keep things a little clean. Hey guys, so I am on my morning commute right now on a particular stretch of freeway that I like to use to adjudicate the NVH characteristics of mods that I've done. And the reason why I like this stretch of highway is, you know, as you could probably hear in the background, there's a bunch of like expansion joints and cracks and poor pavement, and some of the slabs that you drive over even rock back and forth as vehicles go over. And funny enough, you know, I just saw a bunch of dust fly up through the cracks of one slab that this box truck in front of me caused to happen. So this is a great way for me to see what do the Powerflex rear subframe bushing inserts do to the ride. And quite honestly, I'm not really happy with it. The harshness is just noticeably worse, and I do feel like the ride or the noise is also increased, but that's not nearly as bad as the harshness I'm getting. Every one of these bumps and cracks that I'm hitting is just, you know, shooting up through the seat into me, and it's a little bit upsetting. Now, you know, one of the positives of these bushings is that they are supposed to firm up the rear, make it more solid, you know, more connected, but I can't really say it does that in a very positive or meaningful way. Like, it really makes the rear end feel less stable rather than more, as if it was more jittery and less controlled instead of, you know, cool and composed and smooth. So, I don't know. I don't think this was a very good modification. I'm probably going to end up taking these things out. One thing I've also seen that some guys on the UK forums have done is they've only put part of the subframe bushing insert in. So either like just the top or just the bottom, or some have, you know, even cut off the large ring base on the bottom to see if that adds a little bit more compliance in. And so, you know, that may be a route that I try with these, but I can't really say that they've tightened up the ride to a meaningful degree that gives the car more control and better connected feeling and more driver confidence. So, I wouldn't recommend these.